Hello everyone, this is Mr. Speak, and this is my What's Next segment concerning Bleach. Yeah, Bleach right now is in the Fullbring arc, and what they're doing is having like the standoff between the Fullbringers and some of the Shinigami and Ichigo. I say in Ichigo because we really don't know his status. He's a substitute, but at the same time, what is he? And also some questions concerning his new form. In any case, what's next? The main question is, how does this Fullbring arc play into the arc overall, aside from Ichigo getting his powers back? Again, Ginjo's been shown to be a former substitute Shinigami, but at the same time, why should we care? I mean, aside from setting up for Ichigo to getting his powers back, what does it really matter that he or any of the other Fullbringers were there? Sure, they may have another new friend as a result of this. I mean, Ruruka definitely doesn't appear to be into this fight as the other Fullbringers are. She definitely didn't seem to want a part of it. And I think if she knew what she was getting into, she probably would have stepped out. But still, other than that, what is going to be resolved in this chapter? A lot of questions have been floating around, and instead of answering them, there's just been more and more questions, which is okay, but eventually you're going to have to at least give us a bone to go off of here. Throw us a bone, Kuba, at least, because, these are questions that we haven't really gotten an answer to at all, rather than, like a progressive answer, like, okay, we get a little bit of the final answer, and then we get a little bit of foreshadowing, then we get the final answer. But no, it's been like, okay, we have the question, waiting, 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 none. In any case, how does this question one? How does this Fullbring arc play over? What place does it have overall in terms of the next arc? What's going to happen in the next arc is question two, I suppose. Question three. What is the story on Ishin? I mean, again, a while back we've seen Ishin as a Shinigami, and from the looks of his Shinigami clothes, he may have been a former one. So, a former captain at that. So, how did he come to be? How did he come to be human? Live with Masaki, his wife, and Father Ichigo. How did that all play up into what it is now? It was something that got hinted to back in the day. We finally learned that Ichigo knows, but again, we haven't gotten a question on it. You could justify it when Ichigo learned because it was against the fight against Aizen. So I could understand it needing to wait then. But what about now? Now it's been said to be like a year and a half later since the Aizen fight was over. So it's been kind of up in the air on when it's going to happen. It would be kind of awkward for the discussion to happen now, so I'm banking on a flashback of some sort. But then again, still really not certain. Again, he really didn't know about Ginjao. I think Ishin might have known about Ginjao if he was formerly a part of Soul Society. So maybe he didn't tell Ichigo, which is in itself was quite weird. What do you think about that? So that's question three. Question four, again, has to do with the next arc. I'm banking on, what do you think about the Zero Squad? I guess would be question four. What do you think is going to be done with that? We've seen them. We talked about them before as being kind of like this mysterious squad dedicated to protecting, the Soul King, supposedly made up of former captains, but we haven't seen much of them. Nay, we haven't seen any of them. We know the names of one of the recruits, namely Kiryu Hikifune, that was formerly the captain of the 12th squad, but we haven't got any, insight on him or her. It's kind of an ambiguous name, but we haven't got any insight on that person, nor the rest of the squad. And another question that comes out about that is, why didn't they do anything while Aizen was out rampaging? Understandably, I guess they would be kind of a last resort should they need to step in kind of thing. But at the same time, Aizen's about to kill everybody from Soul Society. He will kill everybody from Soul Society if he wins Karakura Town 2. And who knows what this guy will do if he ended up actually succeeding in his goals. But at the same time, you can't just let all of Soul Society be wiped out. It may be a crappy government, a very, very crappy government, but it's still the only one they got. So, question four, to summarize, what role is the Zero Squad going to play in the future? And I guess question five is the Zero Squad going to play any role in the future? I definitely say yes, because any other antagonist would be kind of out of nowhere at this point. I mean, Again, Soul Society was the antagonist. Then we got somebody coming out of Soul Society that is into being a guy that's been crazy prepared and prepared for the war against Soul Society for some time, off screen or off page, I guess, for manga. But where would the other antagonists come from? Ginjao definitely does not appear to be on the level of. He definitely does not appear to be on the level of the captains. I don't think that he's that close to Ichigo's level. He has gotten a power boost, but we haven't seen much of Ichigo's full bring powers. If he stole only Ichigo's full bring powers, he may have gotten a minor boost, but as far as that goes, I honestly don't think he'll be much of a challenge. Again, we saw him and Tsukishima clash. They seem to be pretty even as far as that go, with Tsukishima actually succeeding and get a small cut. And Tsukishima is currently struggling against Byakuya, so if that's anything to go by, he's probably a little bit stronger than him now because of Ichigo's power. But will he last long against Ichigo? I honestly don't think so. If Ichigo's gotten all of his former power, but even if he hasn't, even if he was like on the level he was when he went into Soul Society, maybe even slightly stronger than that, by some weird Dukish Machina where he no longer has his Bankai and stuff like that, then I still wager on Ichigo winning against Ginjao any day of the week. Um, yeah, that's pretty much all the pressing questions. It's pretty much seen at this point that the Fullbringers do not stand a chance against the captains. I mean, we all kind of knew that they didn't stand a chance because before they were like seated level officers. Now I'd say they're like lieutenant levels, above an average lieutenant, but definitely under a fully realized lieutenant like Hisagi. So, and you'll hear me say like fully like Hisagi. Hisagi was the only one that needed to bust out Shikai as a last resort. Afterwards, he's totally pawned everyone, whereas the other lieutenants had difficulty with their opponents. And we don't know the strength of the round card they were facing, but at the same time, they kind of did struggle there initially. I mean, you could a lot of people argue that Kira wouldn't have won his fight were it not for his Shikai ability. I kind of agree with that, but at the same time, I'm not gonna bash Kira here. He is a competent combatant. It's somewhat of a tongue twister. Yeah. So that's pretty much it. To summarize, I think all my points were Ichigo's relationship with his father. What are the details concerning that? How is that going to be dealt with? The next big antagonist, the Zero Squad. What role do they play? Why didn't they step in? Stuff of that nature. Oh, there was one more point I needed to make. In the recent chapter, it was discussed that Soul Society apparently had more Shinigami substitutes before Ginjao. Well, it's been proven that there was one before Ichigo, but even more before Ginjao. So, either way, in the theory that they might have died or that they were alive, why didn't the Soul Society tell them about the substitute Shinigami? Why didn't they tell Ichigo about the substitute Shinigami? They acted like it was this big new thing, but if Ginjao exists, that definitely throws that whole thing down the crapper. It throws the whole theory. It throws the whole fact out of whack, so to speak. So it's definitely another shadow to cast on Soul Society's image. So is that going to be the next major antagonist? I don't know. Comment below what you think about that. Maybe like the next major antagonist will be all former substitute Shinigami, and the reason that they didn't tell Ichigo was because they were afraid he was going to join up with them and possibly become a threat. Then again, with the whole Aizen thing, I could definitely say that'd be kind of doubtful. To end this video, I'm going to end it with one of my theories. One of my theories is that, there are like a whole bunch of substitute Shinigami, and Ishin was formerly a substitute Shinigami, but, either he used Final Getsuga Tensho and then got depowered to a normal human, or Soul Society asked him to like step down from being a substitute Shinigami because they were afraid he was going to join up with them. I don't know. It's kind of a weak theory, but that's what I've got. I normally won't do a theory at the end of all my vids, but these are just primarily like the series that are giving out a lot of questions about where to go next. Bleach is definitely one of those series, unfortunately. In any case, this is going to be the point where I'm signing off. Comment, rate, subscribe. Post your theories below. Put your complaints or thumbs up below, I guess. Think about what I could do to make these kinds of segments better, stuff of that nature. Anyway, this has been Mr. Speak, signing off.